Hello and welcome to a new playlist called General Tips. In this, the first lecture which we are discussing today is on personal interviews. Now, what I have done is that I have divided this lecture into two parts. So, let us start with the disclaimer, right? So, the disclaimer will be that I'm basically not an authority for teaching you anything regarding how to take personal interviews or what to do and what not to do. But still, it is my honest request and it's also my honest attempt to make things clearer for my students as well as for anybody in this world. And let's hope that we pass through the interviews very nicely. But ultimately, and at the end of the day, you need to always remember this, that if you succeed, it's yours. If you fail, then also it's yours. However, you can always claim uh, the opposite of it, but the truth is that both of these are basically yours. So we will make an attempt to understand how to prepare for the interviews and what are the things which we should do in the interview. So you can see the presentation overview. What are the things which we will be discussing? The first part which we will be discussing is grooming, that how we need to groom ourselves for preparations. Definitely the preparation part of it, how to start the interview. We will also talk about the involvement, the genuineness, what to do and what not to do. The kind of things which you can expect in the interview, and if something goes wrong or if something is unexpected in the interview, then what you should do. You also need to ask a question at some point of the time. So what are those kind of questions which you should ask your interviewer, and the formal notations and how to leave the interview. However, what I will do is that we will divide the interview into these two parts. The first part will talk about the grooming, the preparation and the start part of it, and the next part of the interview we will talk about the rest of the part, from involvement to the pack and leave part, because this is where we need to talk about what are the things which you are expected to inside the interviewing hall or inside the interviewing room. However, this part of it is something which we need to prepare before we reach the interviewing hall, right? So those are the things which I thought that we will be, therefore I divided this lecture into two parts. So let us start with grooming first. Now a lot of students ask me that how to prepare and how to do things for the interview. Haircut, whether you are a male or a female, I will say that a haircut is a must, because it helps you do a lot of things, especially for males, but also for females, I guess so, because it gives you a different look, a new look, a fresh look, and that boosts your confidence. So it is important, if it is possible for you, you should get a haircut. Now, shave or trim is also something which is an important thing. So people should trim or shave, because that is also something which you should go for. Shower, I do not know about students, because most of us, when we were students or when we have not entered our professional life, are not very much ready to take shower every day and this and that. And especially in winters, we always feel like that we should leave this part of our lives, or we can do better things somewhere else. So we usually want to skip that. But shower, and a good shower, if it's winters, you can always take a hot water shower, but that helps to regain confidence, also freshen up your body, mind, soul, and so many things. You also need to wear iron clothes, because if your clothes are not properly ironed, maybe this is not something which will be taken by the interviewer very nicely or in a very favorable way. So it is expected that you should wear iron clothes, right? And you should take good sleep before you, because usually what we think is that we should prepare hard, we should prepare hard, we should prepare hard. Yes, definitely you should prepare hard, but you also need to take good sleep. So it's always better to rest yourself well before you go for your war, or before you go for your final assault, right? So take rest, take a good sleep before you take the interview. I'll talk about this book and Lucky Charm together. We are superstitious by nature, or we feel like that there are certain lucky charms for us. So it is always good to keep something with you during your interviews, or at least till the time you enter the interview hall or the interview room. So that helps your confidence, that gets your mood or set your mood right and so on. Similarly, carrying a book helps because many a times you need to wait a lot for the interview. So if you are reading your favorite things, whether it's a fiction or whether it is something which you are preparing and so on, it also helps, right? So it is somebody or something which is um, with which you can pass your time, and also it is something which is going to help you a lot with a lot of preparations, right? So keeping that is a good thing. Now haircut is basically optional, as I told you, but it is always good to start with a haircut. Shaving or trimming is a must. Irrespective of the fact, like right now I'm talking about male candidates, irrespective of the fact that whether you keep a mustache or you keep a beard or you are a clean shaved guy or whether you keep French or something like that, it is always very much required that you should trim it, because uh, if it is an unkempt look, this is something which you should avoid, because when it is an unkempt look, it always says a lot about your preparations, right? The person who is interviewing you may not be very I will say um, what is the word for it, maybe he or she will not feel very bad about that, whether you have kept this or that, but then at the back of the mind it is always there that maybe this person has not prepared well, or maybe this person is not very ready to join us, he is a casual person or something like that. So those kind of things comes into mind. Then, as I told you, that shower is something which is helpful, but it is also an optional thing. Maybe there can be a medical reason that you may not be able to take shower or something like that. So does not matter, but it helps. Similarly, iron clothes and say sleeping is definitely a must thing, because that helps you lot with your preparations, that helps you lot with your abilities to perform and so on. And the last two things regarding the book and the lucky charm, these two things are certain things which are also optional by nature. You can keep them if you want, if you want to leave them, or if you are not a person who is into books, or who thinks that superstition is important, or who even thinks that there is no lucky charm or something like that. So you can always leave that, right? It depends from person to person, but sometimes it helps. Let us go to the next slide. Now this is about comfortably dressing up. Now these are basically, if you see the looks, these are basically official looks, right? So usually and mostly when I meet my students and if they ask me that how to prepare for interviews, and usually they are going for some kind of software jobs or some kind of professional jobs and so on. So these are basically the ways in which the males and the females are expected to dress. But one thing is for sure, that in India still we do not usually dress in suits for our interviews, because many a times we are overdressed, and because we also do not have winters for the rest of the year, right? So if you are taking an interview, say somewhere around April to September, I do not think so that you will be even be carrying coat with you, right? So, but a normal tie and shirt and pants, or the female dressings you can see. I will talk a little bit more in detail in the next slide. Here is the next slide. Okay. Now let us talk about the color combination and what are the things which you should wear. Now, if you see the shirts either should be plain. This is the most preferred shirt. That it should be a light colored plain shirt. It should not be check shirt or some blocks or some very something like that. It can be also having stripes. There is no problem with that, but they should be lighter on the lighter shade. And pants or skirts they have to be dark colored, preferably black, gray, brown, or say blue. That also you can wear. Dark, all the shirts has to be light colored, and the pants has to be darker. This is basically a formal dressing. The best is black and white, right? So we know it. Socks also, you need to wear black or brown socks depending upon what kind of pants which you are wearing or skirts which you are wearing. You need to wear black or brown, or there can be for females options like nudes as well, because there can be nudes heels and nudes I will say socks or stockings, so those can also be the case. And for shoes also, you need to only wear black or brown shoes, no sports shoes, no other kind of shoes apart from Brogues or Oxfords. So that is also something which we should be very much clear about, right? Avoid wearing white socks. That is a big no-no. You cannot wear white socks with these kind of things. So those things has to be managed. So if you talk about color combination, I can refer to you a few color combinations, very simple and very easy to get. You can wear a white shirt and a black pant. That is the best combination, I guess so. You can also go for a cream shirt and a brown pant. Then with brown pants, only brown shoes, right? And with black pants, nothing apart from black shoes, right? People go for tan, people can also go for other things, but those are more authoritative by nature, right? Because if you are wearing something for your interviews, so it has to be black, and in case you want to put very dark brown shoes, so it has to be with brown pants, right? So those things which you should manage. Black in fact can go with anything. So, or else you can wear a very light sky blue shirt and dark navy blue pants or something like that. So that combination also goes very nice. So black and white, cream and brown, and sky blue and navy blue. These are three combinations which goes very well. Similarly, you can wear a white shirt and a grey pant. So that also look amazing. You can also understand the skirt and the shirt combinations with that. So these are basically the colors which you should be going for, and avoid using any other flashy color or something like that. Regarding perfume and deodorants, you can put, it's in fact sometimes also mandatory for us to put some light perfumes, but it has to be light, right? It should not be very, very strong by nature. So that is also something which you should keep in mind. About the wristwatch, you need to wear a formal wristwatch, right? Maybe you are wearing a sports watch, maybe you are wearing a smart watch these days, but those are not for interviews. For interviews, you have to wear a formal watch. It can be a metal one, it can be also a strap one, so that's not a problem, but it has to be a formal watch. And regarding the tie, you can wear a very plain tie with minimal designs. Many a times we have these party ties and with a lot of flashy this and that and coming up and so on, but that is not preferred for interviews. For interviews, it has to be plain, it has to be simple. Avoid checks in ties as well. If it can be plain, it's the best, right? So that is the idea of wearing it. And before I leave from here, I've seen a lot of students, especially girl students, who wear a shirt and a blazer and pants and these things matching, and then they wear a tie. Women or ladies do not wear a tie with the formal dressing. That is also something which you should know. So avoid doing that. Maybe in your college or maybe in your university it's a code, but then tell your authorities that this does not go well, or this is not as per the understanding of a formal dressing. Let us now go to the preparing part, right? So how to prepare for the interview. The first thing, you need to anticipate questions, because in this interview section, or in these general tips only, we will be talking about something called how to prepare for interviews, right? And about the questions which can be asked and what are the answers which are expected and so on. But you need to understand that you need, or you have to anticipate a lot of questions. What are the questions which can be asked? What are the things which you need to develop for this? That, and because of that you also need to develop some model answers, right? So what kind of answers which you can give or provide with those questions are something which you should work for, right? Now sometimes it is required to practice, sometimes it is also required to cram, because you need to remember sometimes a lot of informations. So it's always good to prepare well, prepare hard. So sometimes it comes very naturally, sometimes you need to cram it, but there is no harm in cramming as well, right? And last but not the least, a book of quotations is always very, very helpful, because if you have a book of quotations and you keep it with yourself, you keep reading it, so many a times things stay back at the back of your mind. So it helps when you are putting up your point, because it is more authoritative. It's better if you speak with something which has a flow, which is a sonnet, or which is poetry, or which is say jingling well, and so on. So that helps, and moreover, definitely a thought-provoking proverb can be helping you a lot, right? So that is also the thing. Uh, Regarding the other part of it, you need to have a CV. I will be also preparing a lecture on how to prepare your CV, but you should have an effective CV, and you should remember it, because this is also very important. Most of us have written something in their CVs 6 months back when I applied for the company, and then I've forgotten completely, or I have changed the data, or things have changed and this and that, and I have not edited it, or I have not updated it. So that is also going to be a problem. So if there is a change, you also need to inform your company, and you also need to know yourself, right, that what was the difference between the previous CV and the present CV, and so on, and what are the things which you have written in your previous CV. And be ready with any kind of explanation which is required, because sometimes the explanations are there, and we are not able to give those explanations. You can have a genuine reason for things, right? It's not everything a sham. So you should expect that there can be a requirement for explanation, and you should definitely provide those explanations. And as I told you, that you need to notify the changes if there is any. Regarding preparing, you also need to understand that you need to understand the company's profile, right? Because wherever you are preparing, the first and foremost thing is that you need to make yourself good for the company, and the company should also look good for you, right? So there should be a symbiosis between you and your company. So that needs to be made by you with the company's profile, right? You also need to know about the vacancy details, because you should be very clear with this idea that how many vacancies they have, what are the filling strategies, and what are the filling criteria, how you fix in there, and so on. Because if you are not properly prepared about all these things, the company can always call you a casual guy who is not knowing much about the company, right? So that is not going to help you. We should also know about any new venture of the company, because look, if you're preparing for a company, you should know a lot about that company. If you're preparing for a firm, you should know about that firm. If you're preparing for a university, for higher education, or the department, concerned department, you need to know about them. If you are preparing for defense services, civil services, I do not know what, you need to know about them, right? If you do not know about them, then you do not look very convincing to them, right? So that is the idea. And if there are certain other details as well, so please go on to inform them, or you need to know them as well. Now, how to start? This is where we are very close to entering the room, right? So the first thing is that you should be always on time. You should be always before time. That is the idea, because I've seen many a times what has happened, that the written took place, and after that students were called for the interview, and they went for lunch break, right? Or they went for something, or they were not expecting the results to be coming out so fast, so they went for something. I do not know what. Now this is not professional behavior. You need to be very ready, and you need to be on time. Like the interviews were called at 9 o'clock, and your name starts with A, and you were the fifth person reaching over there, and your name was called already before, and you thought casually that it's 9 o'clock, so maybe these guys will come by 9:30, so I will reach by 9:15 or 9:20, it will be fine, right? Still I will be having 10 minutes in my hand. No, you do not have 10 minutes in your hand, and you need to be there at 8:50. If they have called you at 9, be there at 8:50, right? You can wait forever. You need to wait forever if you are going for a company, right? If you're going for a company, they can make you sit for hours and hours outside. Doesn't matter. But they will not wait for you. That is the idea, right? So you should be on time. You need to wait for them, right? Third, the entering. When you are entering the room, there has to be a confidence, right? The interviewers who are sitting in a panel, or there can be a single interviewing officer as well, or there can be many. they make their plan, or they get ready with you while you are entering only. The 50% of your impression is when you are entering. So your entering has to be proper, right? You should not be submissive, you should not be angry, you should not be complaining that, oh, I have to sit for 5 hours outside. You cannot panic, you have to be confident while entering, and please try to keep a smile on your face, because it improves your face value, and apart from that also it works wonders. So those are certain things which you should remember while entering, because that impression is going to give a very head start or kick start to your interview, a very nice start to your interview, or else it is already made in the minds of the interviewing officer that, oh, this student or this candidate looks very timid, right? So that understanding should not be there. You should be also very clear with your salutations, right? That you need to enter and then you need to wish them. Now, how to wish them, right? If you find say three females and one male, or the combination is like males and females, so start with the female and then go towards the male. If there are all females or if there are all males, so you can always use the plural of it, like good morning sirs or good morning ma'ams, right? Or you can start with good morning ma'am and then you can say good morning sirs if there is one female and there are a lot. So these kind of things which you should keep in mind. So those salutations need to be taken care of. Then wait for them, right? You should not be like, hurrying through, or I have seen, because you get panicky, right? And you feel like, oh, I have just entered, so I have to wish them, I have to do this, I have to do that, and because of that a lot of mistakes take place. But there is no need for those mistakes, and you can be comfortable over there, right? So wait for them to reply. That is another important thing. Always take permissions. This is important, because if you're not taking permissions, so it may not be very polite, or it may not be acceptable to them. So being polite, taking permissions is something which is required. Now these are certain postures in which people sit, right? You can see a person sitting like this or a person sitting like this, but figure C, this two postures are basically for males and females, and this is the way you may sit in the interview. You may not have an arm chair, you may have a simple chair, so you need to make yourself comfortable over there and make yourself comfortable with very firm understanding, right? So if you see the positions and the way the two persons have were sitting here, these are basically the ways people should sit, rather than these ways. These are not acceptable for interviews. So this is or if you have an arm over here, so if you have an arm chair, so you can keep your arms over there. But usually when you are taking when your interview is taken, usually this is not provided. So this is all about entering the room, or up to entering the room. I hope you have enjoyed this lecture, because this was an important thing, that before you reach, what are the things which you should keep in mind in order to be over there. In the next part of the lecture, we will be discussing more about what are the questions, how you need to answer, how you need to make yourself feel better, or how you need to make them feel better, and what should be the basic or the general aura of the interview, so that you clear the interview nicely. So I hope so that this was the last part of this was the last part of my first lecture. So when we will meet next time, we will discuss about the rest of the parts. Thank you very much.